What's up, everybody? Welcome back to RacingDudes.com. Welcome back to another one of our previews. All right, let's get to it. The Sword Dancer coming up at Saratoga this Saturday. Feature race of the day up at Saratoga. A grade 1 event going a mile and a half on the turf. Race 10 on the card. We've got a field of 9 scheduled for this one. All right, let's get to it. Let's put the race up on the screen here, and let's see if we can get a winner in this one. Pretty good field here. International flavor of this as well. And, you know, I think it's just going to be interesting to see, can the international horses come over and win, or will one of our better turf horses get the job done? All right, let's get through it one by one. We'll go with the number 1, El Cordobes. He's coming in here off of a Group 2 win right there at Newmarket last time out. William Buick was aboard there. William Buick's been aboard the last 5 races for this horse, which include 2 wins, a second, and 2/3. So pretty classy horse. Running in some Group 2s, some Group 3s here lately. So we'll see if he can get the job done here. I do think it's telling that Appleby brings in 2 horses. We'll talk about the other one here in just a second. Flavian Pratt on this one, and William Buick on the other one. The other one is the number 5, Nation's Pride. So it seemingly, it looks like to me that Buick thinks Nation's Pride is the bigger kind of threat in this one. But look, you get Flavian Pratt. That's pretty good as well, right? Flavian Pratt, obviously the best jockey. Well, listen, it's debatable, but he's one of the best jockeys in this country. So a nice little fill-in ride there for William Buick. But it does make sense that, hey, you might favor Nation's Pride a little bit more since Buick is aboard. All right, the number 2, Rebel Red, comes in next year, coming off a 7th place finish in the United Nations last time out. That was a pretty good race. Redistricting won the race, a horse I kind of like. Grand Sonata was second. He's in this one, and the Major Dude finished third. So a decent field at time for sure. 2 races back, 1 at a mile and 3/8 at Churchill Downs. 4 races back in the Elkhorn, finished 4th at a race at a mile and a half. So has experience at a mile and a half. Nice little horse here, maybe a little overmatched in this spot. That's my worry, but I do think we'll really like the distance. I think the distance does make him a little bit of a factor in here. The number 3 is Vote No. This is a horse that moved to the turf 3 races back, won an allowance at Horseshoe Indianapolis, and then won a smaller stakes at Delaware, going a mile and a half, and then was 4th last time out in the United Nations. And that's going to be a theme. There's a lot of United Nations horses that are coming back here. I don't love Rebel Red coming out of the United Nations. I don't love Vote No to win in this spot coming out of that race. I will say this horse has been pretty good since moving over to the turf. Maybe hit the board at a big price. I could see that. I thought the United Nations for the first try against Graded Stakes Company here on the turf, I thought it was a pretty darn good effort. Like I said, got beat 2 1/4. It was kind of a race where the winner there of the United Nations was clearly better than the rest, but still kind of interesting when you look at it. The number 4 is Padiddle, and this is a horse that's been running pretty well here as of late on the turf. Won a maiden on the turf there at Gulfstream Park earlier in the season, then was 3rd in the Pan American, and then 3rd in the Man of War. Off the turf, Belmont Gold Cup, I don't care about that one, and then 4th in an allowance last time out. Now, the problem is the horse was beaten 4 lengths by Farbridge in the Pan American, 6 lengths by Farbridge in the Man of War. What turns the tables here? Yeah, I'm not really sure. So I think he is a little bit overmatched in this spot. Pretty good horse, though, since moving over the turf. But there's not a race I can point to that makes him a winner in this spot today. The number 5, Nation's Pride, that is the other Charlie Appleby horse here coming in here, and Buick does ride this one, and that's always a tell for Appleby horses when they come over to the United States. One is Buick here, and then if Appleby has 2 horses, well, which one Buick is on? It isn't an exact science, but usually that is the best sign. Now, Nation's Pride, a horse that has had success here, no question about it. But, it's kind of been hit or miss here lately for this horse. Of course, last year came over and ran on this weekend, but it was the Arlington Million instead, a race we'll talk about later on the channel. Won the Arlington Million and then went back overseas and didn't run very well. Then was a little bit of a break. Came back this year for the Pegasus World Cup Turf, a race he looked awfully good in on paper. Ran 9th, beaten 5 lengths, just did not run very well that day. Went over to Maidon and won a Group 2 event pretty easily. And then last time out, not much running over at Maidon in a $5 million stakes race. A tough race for sure, but 10th, beaten 5 3/4, and he's like I said, he's just kind of hit and miss right now. Off of a layoff now of 126 days. That race was on April 5th. He's back here. I don't know. I'm skeptical. I know, his best is going to be tough here, but I am a little skeptical of him and what I'm assuming is going to be the favorite. I don't know that for sure yet, but I'm a little skeptical of Nation's Pride. I haven't made a decision yet. I'm not going to play this horse to win. We'll see that later this week if I put him on multi-race tickets, but a little scared of him just to bet a straight win on what I think might be a little bit of a short price. We'll see those odds a little bit later in the week. All right, let's keep going to the number 6 Far Bridge, a horse that's been really pretty special the last several races. This is one that had always been pretty good, but I think you could say just a tad disappointing, in some of his earlier career starts, but he's really turned into a good one. To start this year, won the Pan American by a neck over Corruption. Corruption came back and won an allowance here a little bit. I think that's last week at the meet. The Man of War, 3 races back at Belmont at the Big A, was a winner again. Showed up in the Manhattan to kick off, or not to kick off, I should say, but to kick off the training of Miguel Clement, even though Miguel Clement had a lot to do with this horse when his father was alive as well. But ran third, only beaten a neck in the Manhattan. Got beat by Deterministic, who came back to win the 4-star Dave. Integration was right there as well, and it was just a neck defeat. And then entered the local prep race for this one, the Bowling Green. They kind of handed him this one. He won by 3 lengths. I mean, he did exactly what he was supposed to do, but it was a very easy race. A lot of horses scratched out of that one. So, but look, I look at the Manhattan and I think, boy, that was maybe the better race that I'm looking at versus even the Bowling Green, because even though it was a loss, it's like, man, he ran really well that day. There were some really good horses in that one. And like I said, Deterministic comes back to win. Integration, the horse that did run second that day, is a horse that runs second in a lot of big races. I thought he probably ran the race of his career. I thought it was really, really good. So anyway, I really like Far Bridge in this spot. I think he's the horse to beat in here. He's in great form. He should sit a pretty good trip in here, kind of just stalking the leaders in this spot. I think him and Nation's Pride might just kind of run 1-2 around there and then kind of see who outgallops who in the stretch. So I think Far Bridge looks very tough in this one. The number 7, El Razine. I thought he ran excellent last time out, but he was beaten 3 lengths by Far Bridge. I don't really know what turns the tables for El Razine. I think he's an up-and-comer. I don't think there's any doubt about that. This will be the 3rd race off the layoff. I do think that will help him as well. I think he's just an underneath type again for me. I worry that he may not be as good as the top couple in here. But look, I think he comes in here with a chance, no doubt about it. The number 8 is Grand Sonata, another one that I think does come in with a bit of a chance after a nice win, or a nice second, I should say, last time out in the United Nations. He's had, like the Mac Diarmada, he ran second in that race. Earlier in the year, he's had some nice seconds. Going a mile and a half at Keeneland and the Elkhorn, he was 6, beaten 3 3/4. I wasn't that great of an effort that day. He does have some other races like the Pegasus World Cup Turf. He was 8th, beaten 4. So he's got some kind of clunkers in there as well. I think he's in with an underneath shot. I don't like him to win, but I think underneath he does make a little bit of sense. And then finally, the number 9, Utah Beach. This horse that really went on a nice run to start to kind of start this form cycle. Won the Elkhorn by a head at a mile and a half, and then came back and won the Louisville at a mile and a half as well. Last time at Churchill Downs, going a mile and 3/8. He did not run as well, didn't fire that day. Tougher company here for sure. The Elkhorn was a grade 2, the Louisville a grade 3. This is a legit grade 1, no doubt about it. So it's another one. He's going to need pace help. That's why I kind of prefer the 6 over the 9 here, because, El Far Bridge can sit kind of close to the pace where Utah Beach is going to need pace help. I don't see a ton of other speed in here. So that does have me a little bit worried, and he might just be another that's just a board hitter in the spot. All right, that is the field of 9, and I'm going to go with the number 6 Far Bridge to win this race. A few things I'll touch on that I didn't when I was talking about him. Like I said, rounded into really good form, really nice, as far as the pace goes, it should set up well. I just kind of like how he's just turned into a really nice, versatile horse. What about Miguel Clement? I think we got to give this guy a lot of credit. He takes over for his father, Christophe Clement, who passes away, and hate that. Just hated that. Seemed like an all-time good guy and a friendly person for sure. Miguel takes over. You got to know he feels a lot of pressure, and you know he's been working with these horses. Obviously, he's been the assistant trainer, so it's not like he went in blind with this thing. But I think Miguel Clement's done a tremendous job, with the stable, and I think this horse, I think he'll do right by him. I think he ran deterministic at a mile, thinking that's a perfect distance for him. While my horse that wants to stretch out or can stretch out has stretched out several times, I should say. I'll enter him right here, and I think he'll get the job done. So give me the number 6 Far Bridge to keep it going for Miguel Clement. I think he keeps on winning. I think he wins this one here as well. All right, guys, that'll it for this preview. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit subscribe. You really like it. Want to get a learning time? We do previews like this. And most importantly, good luck if you're betting Saratoga on Saturday.